Hello guys, my name is Vipers. I'm gonna say my boy. My name is Vipers. Welcome to the GamerTakes episode number 49. Tonight's episode we'll be talking about the $1 billion playing card market. Now I don't know if this is $1 billion. I'm just gonna assume it is. It does get to the millions, 100 millions total. But I'm just kind of curious since it hasn't been popular in the last couple months as we have been seeing massive sales happen in the Pokemon section, also in the sports card section. I was just interested to see what makes these playing cards, well, not playing, what kind of playing cards, these kind of paper, plastic cards so valuable that can be other memorabilia. So we're going to let our guest introduce himself, who is an expert at these collective card memorabilias.
Yeah, my name is Brock. I run a card shop called Raiden's TCG, and I've been doing this since November.
So you're new at this. How did you kind of get into this?
So I did actually breaks last year before everything went too crazy with supplies and just opening cards and getting used to it. And then November kind of hit, and I needed something new to do on live stream, and I started doing breaks, and it kind of just took off from there. And it got so serious that I actually opened a real life card shop. So I have my own brick and mortar shop now, and it's become a second job pretty much.
Can you, since I didn't know what breaks are, can you describe what a card breaks are? Because that's kind of what I see in the stream titles a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. So a card break is when you have an inventory, or the streamer has an inventory, or if it's a YouTuber or however they do it, and someone watching the stream would buy a pack. The streamer would then open the pack, and then all the hits or the big cards that they pull, they then send to you, and you get the entertainment of opening the pack live, and then you also get the hits that you paid for.
Although you're not really opening the pack, it's someone else is doing it.
Right, right.
That's nice to hear. So kind of how how popular like the shop, you know, it's good that you kind of create a business out of it that can make some big profit, like what are your kind of future plans with it before you kind of just curious about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming to a whole new level. When I first started, I was averaging like 10 orders a day, and now if we have a bad day, it's about 50. Um, and we went from like just a random store on Shopify to top 0.5% on Shopify. And I plan on doing this, for the long haul, even past when everything slows down, whenever that is. But it doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon. Um,
I got a question, one more question before you kind of get into the main topic here. What was your kind of like, you was doing, open up your own business, kind of what was your profession? Like, what was kind of your profession before you started kind of opening the business and getting into the collective card business seriously?
Sure. So I mean, I'm still working. I'm a senior systems engineer. I work in IT,
Okay, just curious now.
servers, networking.
And do you kind of feel, do you still want to spend time in that? Or, if this starts making big profits, it seems like it's going to be working out for you because you already got a lot of customers, do you just feel like you're going to split off from that?
Um, I'm not sure. I think I'm going to try and hold it as much as I can. I love IT. I think that was my true calling. The card shop thing was a hobby that turned into making a little bit of money off of it, and now it's almost like a second job. So it really depends on how the card market is in the long run. If it stays consistent, then yeah, for sure. But we'll we'll have to see if the craze goes down, after the pandemic and people go back to work, and there's a lot of variables.
Okay, that's nice. That's cool to hear. Just hopefully, again, it still makes a lot of profit. And then, so we're going to get to the main topic now. First question I got is how does, this is kind of, not really kind of talking about the money side yet, but again, it's something that is important to making the money. How does someone measure the PSA? I think that's what it's called, rating for collectible cards. So what do you kind of look for in a PSA, like if when rating cards?
Yeah, so you have to look at the corners, the surface on the card, is there print lines, are the corners rounded? If they're square, they're not going to get a good rating. Is the thickness on the card angle on the card edges equal? Because if one's more is one's wider than the other, then it brings down the grade. If basically if your card doesn't look immaculate, you shouldn't get it graded. It's unless it's a really high value card, because then it's not worth any money, and then you're kind of wasting your money because it's like almost $200 to grade a card.
Oh. Can you? I don't know if you have access to cards, but can you show me like a difference between like a 10 and a 9? If you, I don't know if you,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of just to show like all the viewers and all that because I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious on that.
So this one is this Charizard. This is going to be a 10. The claw on the left there right there is
Mhm.
basically right on the edge, which means the centering is pretty good. You could also see that the thickness of the silver lines on each side is equal. So this is going to come back at 10. I'm pretty positive. This one, which is the same card, the left is a lot thinner than the right.
Oh, I can probably
Yeah,
see it a little bit.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell, but there's someone.
It's tight, but it's not gonna. It'll get a 9.5, not a 10, just for that. And also the top left corner is more square,
I
where
see it.
where the black part is, where it says VMAX. It's a
Oh,
square cut, not a
oh,
round.
okay.
Yeah, so those little things um, will really bring the grade down, and that's a 9 from a 10 can be thousands.
Wow. It's also it's funny. It's
Yeah,
like the same card, and it's
yeah,
like just a little bit. Why is it that like that? It's something so minuscule that
yeah,
why kind of I don't know. I'm just shocked by it. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like it does make sense to most people because you want a card that's kind of perfect, but at the same time, it just like that's kind of not something that should just bring a value down by that much. It's kind of the
yeah.
quality, is like the card crumpled? No, it's not. Does the card have any fingerprints? No, it doesn't. But just something kind of like something that you probably can't control that much is
Right. And then
shocking.
like even like this card here, this Blastoise, if this card comes back at 10, it's $8,000. If it comes back at 9, it's 1,000.
Wow.
So just for one grade, it's a big difference. $6,000 for one grade. Hopefully that person gets a 10.
So does like I think I don't know what company does it, but like does I think it's Hackett. Is that the
Beckett.
name? Yeah. Do other like do people just like can you do this for like free? Like we don't have to have someone grade a card, and you just kind of have someone who's expert at visually looking and give it like a 10 or something like that, or it's just
Yeah, I think you can get it pre-graded by verified graders. Like there's a guy called TCA Gaming. He can pre-verify it and say, okay, you're in good shape. And then uh, if he says, hey, this is gonna be a 10, then you send it in. But even if he says it's a 10, you still have to get the actual grade on the card for that value to kick in.
how long does it take to kind of get those grades back? Because I think I heard there's like a hold up right now with the Hackett and the
Yeah.
PSA grading.
Well, PSA grading you can still pay for Express right now, but it's almost $300 per card. So it's for 30 days for $300, or through Beckett for 45 days it's 150. So it really depends on what company you go through. But when you think about that route, you have to understand what you're sending in, and then each company, depending on the grade, is actually more or less than the other one.
Okay,
So
just curious.
yeah, so for example, Beckett has something what they call a black label, which is a pristine, immaculate card. If you get a black label on a card, the price of that card now quadruples. So that $7,000 card goes to $28,000.
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference. But if it doesn't get a 10, the PSA 10 is higher in value because it's just sought for more. But that black label is everything. I mean, if you get the black label, it's amazing.
Okay, just curious on that one. So I probably already asked this, but kind of talked about it already. But how would someone know the card has value to it, to where they can make a profit? Like, just say for the Pokemon cards, for example, or like the sports cards.
You got to do research. There's websites that show recently sold graded cards like uh, TCA player is a good one, or check eBay for recently sold. You can check for graded cards, or Mercari is another good trading platform to check it out. And then you got to be careful too now because there's a big scandal with Etsy. People are making fake labels on Etsy for grading, and they're putting like a PSA 5 and then calling it a 10 with the labels. So it's
Oh, yeah, it's black market
yeah, you got to
stuff.
be careful.
I don't have a shop online, so I'm probably not gonna find those cards. So kind of what, like, in regards to sports, actually, no, never mind. I'll go to the next question because it's kind of talking about why are Pokemon cards valuable in the first place, and how does it compare to the sports card market?
So I think Pokemon is funny because it's valuable from the social media influences, especially now. Everything is like the whole thing with like Logan Paul and other streamers, they've all driven up the prices. You could have got 3 years ago, you could have got a base set booster box, the one from 1999, for about 400 bucks. They're selling for almost 200,000 right now.
I was not shocked about that one. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
So kind of the social media thing, kind of actually speaking of kind of what Pokemon card, like when you're looking into Pokemon cards, which ones are the most valuable? Like what, I don't know, I'm not really a kind of a Pokemon guy myself, but kind of what are you looking for? Because one of them is Charizard, but is there any other ones that you kind of look for?
Yeah, I think if you're looking for newer gen, the Rainbow Pikachu is the biggest one right now. If I think I have one nearby that I can show you. This is one of the biggest cards right now. Is the Rainbow Pikachu.
Mm.
Graded, it's about 5 grand. If you get a 10. Um, but it's 1 in 750 packs to pull it.
So, oh wow.
Yeah.
And actually, kind of, how does it compare to like this? When I like kind of compared to the sports card market, like kind of, do you see like which one has more value at the moment?
I think the Pokemon is ahead of sports right now because you don't really know how a player is going to do. A rookie card is a rookie card. Like I'm a Jaguars fan, so Trevor Lawrence right now, he's first overall pick. If he does really well and you get a rookie signed card, Trevor Lawrence, I mean you're golden. It's going to be thousands. I mean his rookie card right now is 500 bucks signed, and he hasn't even played it down yet. So it really depends on how they perform. Pokemon on the other end, Pikachu. He's been around for a while. There's gonna be value there. Charizard too. It's like it's another type of Pokemon that's been popular since like the early days in 1999, since they had the older booster boxes and stuff like that. So you know what you're gonna get with those cars. You don't know what you're gonna get with the players. So unless they take off and they win a championship or they do really well or win MVP, you don't really know what the value of those cars are going to be.
What are kind of sports like besides the kind of rookie cards? What are kind of sports variant cards do you kind of look for?
Um, Hall of Fame players that they have jersey cards maybe in the sets, or people that retire or people that are just on a roll, like a Tom Brady rookie card right now. If you can get that, it's rare, but I think one just sold for almost 1.5 million for a Tom Brady card. I know there's always one in the newer set. If you get a signed Tom Brady card, you're looking at almost 100 grand just right now, even on the Buccaneers. Um, I know his signed Buccaneers card in the NFL Prisms is about 100 grand if you get it graded.
Okay, I was kind of we're gonna kind of talk about that later, but I was just kind of curious what are variants you kind of look for in those cards, and probably like any other, the older you get, because the more experience in NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, there's a lot more chance. You already know what the success story is, and like just you gave a sample with Trevor Lawrence. Hasn't played it down yet, has a $500 card. That could increase to say he wins a couple. I don't know if this is really going to happen with the Jaguars at the moment, but you got to believe hope. Probably in the next 10 years, Jaguars win a couple Super Bowl bowls. Now that card's worth 500K, and that guy sold it for 5. Just like he probably had it. So okay, not really interested in collecting cards. I lucky I got this Trevor Lawrence rookie card. I'll just sell it for 500. That 10 years down the line, you don't. It's 500K. You could have had a mansion. So
yeah, or he's a bust and that card goes back down to $5.
Yeah,
it goes either way.
So again, probably good to sometimes sell it early, but again, maybe it's sometimes not a great idea to sell it early.
Yeah.
So next one is celebrities like Logan Paul. Logan Paul, we already kind of talked about this, are spending millions of dollars to get a hand of these ultra rare Pokemon card boxes, packs, to possibly land something valuable. How would this affect the diehard Pokemon fans, and would like kind of with buying the Pokemon cards? And would someone like you spend millions to get a hand on a rare Pokemon card / box?
I mean, yeah, I did it a couple of months ago. Not millions, but a large amount of thousands. It's actually behind me. That green box is a jungle box. It's from 1990. I can grab it if you want.
I can see it, but you can
Yeah.
show it out too if you want.
Yeah. So we did a break on this, and this is a jungle box, vintage, and it's scary when you're buying this thing because it was 7,500, and 7,500 on eBay is always scary because you don't know if it's a scam, if they're really going to send it or not, and you have to check with verified sellers and check, what have they sold recently? Is it a new account? Do they have other things for sale? You got to be extra careful how you buy things. Like never use Venmo, never use something that you can't track. Like PayPal's great because they have the invoicing and you're protected. eBay is great because you're protected, but if as soon as you send money through like Venmo or Cash App or something, you don't have protection. And I think that's where these social media people also are hurting a little bit, or hurting people because they want to do these breaks, but they're only accepting certain payment. So like if you pay for a Logan Paul break and you pay in Venmo, he doesn't have to send you your pack. There's no record of you buying something. You're just sending him money. If it's in a store or an invoice, it's different. But he was taking stuff through Cash App because they did like a sponsor with them. There's no tracking. You're just hoping that they send out your stuff. And there's people that don't have millions of dollars. If they're spending $900 on a pack, that's a lot of money, especially now in a pandemic and all that other stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of really scary because especially, it's good, you can get lucky, you can pull one of those cards, but to kind of buy it and then you probably, what's the luck you get? Just you spend 7,500, what happens, you already opened the pack, so I don't want to get kind of further into details, but what happens if you spent that 7,500, you got absolutely nothing that has any value that you can make that money back? It's a lot of money that you have to spend, and that it's something rare. So you can't really, it's like gambling. You can put as much in and then you lose it, but you can possibly win it back. But it's just a risk and reward type of deal, and you got to get lucky a lot of times. So with these sellers kind of spending it high, it's a big kind of concern for with people buying this for high. First thing, it kind of like, how much does Logan Paul really keep up with Pokemon? Those other people, you're wearing a sweatshirt jacket that has the S as, Pikachu's tail. I think that's, hopefully I'm right in that one.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So, you everybody has dedication to Pokemon, but Logan Paul, he might not really, he just wants to spend it just to spend it. And he's not really kind of, he could probably damage the car, how reckless he can be. And now it's like, someone who really wanted that Pokemon box, card box, who is really protective won't get opportunity, and then it leads down the line again. You mentioned scammers, especially with how anything that's valuable. You can look at the shoe market, where you got fake shoes, counterfeit shoes. You can probably say counterfeit cash. There's a lot of counterfeit items. It's kind of leading to it's the same thing. Good thing, kind of eBay. You're lucky that eBay's got a good tracking system. PayPal, you mentioned Venmo and Cash App, not really having deep security where it's you can they can really track the order. So that's kind of where a lot of concern, and that, I don't know, it just sucks for the Pokemon fans because it's just they're dedicated to it. They save a lot of money for it, and then it's just, I just doesn't make sense. The celebrities to take it, but again, it's first come, first serve.
I think another big thing to think about when you're doing these breaks and even getting these vintage boxes is that Logan Paul, who has millions of followers, is going to sell these packs with ease. Someone with a lot less, like myself, we have to push. We have to sell these packs because if they don't sell, now we're stuck with a $7,500 investment that didn't go. So we need to find the right price point. Are they going to take it? Do you have to add something extra in to entice these people to buy? I mean, that's just part of the game, that you got to give as much as you can back so people get into it, and make sure everything is fair. Because for me, when someone doesn't pull something in my breaks, I always give an extra card. Logan Paul's not going to give an extra card. You didn't win. You didn't break it. You didn't get the card that you want. It's okay. Well, too bad. It's a little bit different, I think, for other breakers in the community that are a little bit smaller and care more for the community than money itself.
Yeah, that's a really concern. I actually got an additional question since you kind of mentioned early that you kind of stream these breaks and all that. I might as well add this to it. Kind of explain the process behind it, so people, so kind of start. Actually, I'm gonna kind of ask this. So people pay for opening these packs. It could be worth
Yep.
whatever amount, and then you open the packs, and then you open a card they want, and then you kind of, do you send the money? I don't know how person this deep is going to get. I hope they won't get in trouble for this. Do you send, like, if they say they want a card, has value to it, and then you PSA, you sell it and whatever, if you give the money to them? Or
Well,
is
I,
it
I
kind of
wouldn't I
system
wouldn't
worse?
sell it. I wouldn't sell it directly for them. I do offer grading packages so they can send, if I pull a Charizard for say, and they can be like, hey, can you grade that? I would grade it, send them the card graded, and they can sell it on their own. I wouldn't sell it for them.
Okay, that's the one, just, I was fine. That's fine with that. I'm not, I get that. I was just curious in that part. I probably misworded it.
Yeah.
So next question I got. So this is, I searched up a card. Mickey Mantle 1952 Topps PSA 9. This is one of the most expensive baseball cards sold for $5.2 million. Will we ever see more than $5 million? Like, just say a card sell for over 5 million bucks again in the next couple years, especially with the number of athletes retiring and some cards getting older and older.
Yeah, I think there's that guy in Washington that has that signed rookie Michael Jordan card that they valued at $12 million. So if he decides to sell that, he can get 12 million for that, and that would be one of them. I think when Tom Brady eventually retires, I think his card's gonna be worth well over five. Um, and the soccer player
Ronaldo,
Ronaldo,
Messi.
yeah, yep, their cars will also go well over five. So I think it's definitely there. I don't know if a 2 or 3 year mark is there, but I think 5 to 10 would be more like the number. But it's definitely going to be out there.
Actually, I kind of want to go back, kind of talk about more of this. I kind of forgot about something in the previous question. You talk about, might as well go back. We were kind of talking about the, social medias and all that. You mentioned that there's a lot of scammers. Kind of, I'm curious. Just, do you know any guys who do card breaks, any card break streamers who got scammed? That you, just curious on that one.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. I don't think I should name the streamer, but I had a person from one of my viewers came in my stream, and he had won a giveaway and from a streamer, and he won a random pack of a Dragon Ball Super pack. It's another card game, and the streamer opened the pack, and it just happened to have a card in there worth $400. And then the guy said, "I'm not giving you this card because of the worth." So he pulled the giveaway back and banned the guy from his chat.
Wow,
Now, me being the good Samaritan, I went on eBay and I bought that kid that card
good.
because it's just not right. You can't do that. It's even worse. It's a random pack. You can't do that. If it's a card and you're not sure you want to give it away, maybe talk to the guy in private, but you can't do it live. You can't pull a giveaway live and be like, hey, you pulled this $400 card. I want it. I want to sell it. Sorry, you're not getting it. That's just not the way it works.
Good for you. Kind of. I was just curious because there's a lot of just you talk about not receiving the packs. There's a lot of scammers in that. With the counterfeit. I was just curious in that part.
But on the other side too, I mean, there's scammers that buy. I was hit with one this morning. Someone charged back $2,000 worth of product to me this morning, and it's just because they opened all these packs for fun. They don't take it seriously. They probably used a parent's credit card to get it, and they disputed it with the bank, and I lost all of it. The good thing is I never sent out their cards since it was only a few days ago, so I got to keep all their cards. But now I have to go through the process, get those cards graded, then sell it to get my money back.
Oh yeah. That doesn't help when it's a parent's credit card, $2,000, kind of with the value. So next question I got. This is going back to kind of the money, kind of the sports side again. Why are rookie cards more valuable than cards that represent the player's MVP season, contain a signature or last season of, or like just say the last season of a player? So like, Michael Jordan, like final season card.
Yeah, I think the rookie cards are more valuable because it's like it brings the hype to the card. Like, oh, we think this guy's gonna be really good. I really wanna see if he succeeds. But before that, let me get his rookie card. And they sell, even I think they sell higher before the season starts on whatever sport it is, because the hype is bringing those cards up. And again, you don't know if they're going to be good or bad, but that's that's what's that's what's driving them up. For example, Jerry Judy, he's a wide receiver for the Broncos.
Yep, I know that.
His rookie card was 1,600 raw, which means it's not graded. Um, it's uh it's a year later now, and his normal card a year later is worth $50. So
So he hasn't had. I don't know. It was kind of iffy season. He didn't really. Hope. Well, again, you got a lot of hype. You come out of Alabama. You were basically the number one receiver in the draft. Expect. The guy could have sold it for 1,300. Just say he acquired it. It's just you don't know half the statistics. He had an iffy season. It wasn't. He didn't win Rookie of the Year. So, just say you had a Justin Jefferson card, that will probably have a lot more value. And I don't. Other side, Chase Young.
right.
So that kind of makes sense. I'll continue with it. Sorry for them.
Yeah, so like I said, a Justin Jefferson card is still about the same. It was about 1,200. It's about 1,200 now. If you get a second year card with him, he was over 1,000 yards. He was the lead receiver on the Vikings. Looks like he's going to be doing pretty well in the future. But you just don't know. Jerry Judy's got Drew Lock thrown to him. We don't know, or we don't even know who's going to be the quarterback. You got Teddy Bridgewater now there, and you got Drew Lock and possibly Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? But
That would be scary.
yeah. But let's say that happened. Let's say Aaron Rodgers got traded to the Broncos, and you got a Broncos Aaron Rodgers card and you got it this year or next year, whenever that comes out. That card's gonna be worth a lot of money.
Because it's rare, because it's one of his rare seasons there, especially extending for like a Brady card. Because as a Buccaneers, he had 20 seasons with the Patriots. He's going to go second year with the Bucks. We don't know how many he's going to do. He plays till 50. That's probably I don't know. I forgot how old he is right now, but let's say 7 to 8 years. It probably doesn't have value anymore. But just say Aaron Rodgers, like just Aaron Rodgers has played for the Packers whole life. Just say, he goes to the Broncos. Yeah, he gets traded. Puts up great statistics. Makes Jerry Judy's card worth more value, and then probably next year he's injured. And it's he didn't win a Super Bowl with the Broncos card, but that's you get money for it, a lot more money for that, especially if you
Yeah,
get some. That's kind of crazy.
that's how it works. It bases off performance basically, but it also the rarity of getting traded from a good team to a worse team, and then if he succeeds in that worse team, I mean that's how the card goes up in value.
Or he doesn't play that much because again some freak injury happens. I don't know if that's going to decrease it, but again it's something rare if especially he wins the Super Bowl his first year and then freak accident happens the second year. Hopefully it doesn't. It's probably not going to happen, but just example.
Yep.
So the next question. They recently stopped selling. This is kind of recent. I think the last couple of weeks. I think I found this on Twitter, Walmart. They recently
Yep.
stopped selling Pokemon cards at Target. I don't know about the sports market. How could the Pokemon card market be affected if they stopped selling Pokemon cards at all retail stores?
Yeah, this is a big one. It doesn't affect me directly, but for people that want to go to a store and buy some cards, it's impossible right now. Everybody since that there was a kid that got killed in Minnesota. He got jumped for 4 packs of Pokemon cards because people were crazy. And yeah, he was killed and it kind of sparked this whole thing. And uh you know, Target is protecting their workers and they're also trying to prevent their workers from stealing from the back room because that was part of it too. The workers would just take it from the stock room. It would never hit the shelves, and then you're not getting it anyway. So for right now, I think they're just selling online, and they never really tell you when everything's live. They kind of just put it up there, but it's going to infect. Now Walmart also has ceased um, selling cards, and they're not selling any sports either. So it's all online for now, which is going to cause huge problems. I can't imagine it's good for the Pokemon company either. Could you think about this? I mean, if you're the Pokemon company and the two largest retail stores aren't carrying your product, are you happy about it?
Nope.
So that's sales right there that they're missing out on. And there's another problem too. Pokemon can't print the packs fast enough. I mean, as soon as they hit the shelves, they're gone. My distributors, they're sold out. I mean, I got stuff coming from months ago, but for the future, I mean, I don't know if it'll be delayed. I don't know if my shipments will be delayed. Right now that it's been steady and it's been good. Um, but you don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I just looked up while you're speaking, just looking up all the cases with the kids getting killed for Pokemon. I didn't find one for this year or last year. But I don't want to go further into this, but couple uh there's a couple actually there's one that I just found. Twin gets life for killing man over fantasy cards worth 100K. Man, that's great.
Yeah.
And there's oh my gosh, this oh wait, no, this is wrong. Um, there's a this is kind of interesting, but not kind of related to cards. I don't know why there's a Pokemon Go depth tracker. Wow, this is interesting when you learn about the Pokemon market and the card market. Um, so next question: will collectible cards be more worthwhile for everyone than signed memorabilia?
Um, in the long run, no. I think the signed memorabilia it'll be more expensive, but it really depends what that person's into. If we're talking about worth like money wise, it'll never be worth more than signed memorabilia, like the signed cards, signed bats, signed footballs. It'll be those will be way more valuable. But the I don't think a single Pokemon card is over 1 million right now. There's not one card that's over 1 million. The Shadowless Charizard first edition is like 300,000 if it's a PSA 10, and I don't even know if that's going to go up at all. They would have to drive the price. Another social media guy would have to drive the price. Um, but that's going to be hard. I don't know if someone's going to spend $1 million on a dragon on a piece of cardboard. I'm not really sure. But if it's a player that's like a real person, um, I think that's what brings more value to it, is that this is a real person. You can go out and see this person. The other thing is just a game.
Although it's kind of sometimes maybe hard to kind of identify, well, unless there's kind of a lot of cases. Well, maybe not a lot of case. I don't know why I'm saying cases. I'm like trying to say like a murder, like a crime, but there's a lot of situations where kind of really it's hard to kind of tell a signature, because again they could just copy the signature and they don't even know it. So I keep thinking like, okay, collectible cards, they're, you know, it's, I said Pokemon cards, it's only 300K. The sports ones you can get to 5 million, but there's at least you can't really fake it. You can damage it, but you can't fake the cards because they came from, well, actually another fake black labels, and whatever the counterfeit card market is, but it's not that big. Unlike the memorabilia one, which has like, it's more noticeable. It's more visible. It's easier to kind of see and like kind of real life. But again, someone could fake a signature because just say like the signature is probably easy to replicate. They can put it on just say a Tom Brady's jersey. You can't try the Bucks one yet because there hasn't been. Made Patriots a lot easier because they've probably done signings and all that. But you can't like someone try to fake a memorabilia, like sell a Tom Brady jersey with the Bucks. You're not going to get any value. They know it's going to be fake, but someone could do it with the Patriots jersey. They can make look like a pretty similar signature, especially if you look up. You kind of just go through all of the famous NBA, MLB, NHL, NFL players. You look at their signatures. They post on Wikipedia. I think some of them. You can also do this with celebrities, and you find one that's easy. You can just kind of fake it, and boom,
Right.
and you don't damn well tell.
Yeah, I think with sports too is that most of the teams now they have representatives that you can get a certificate of authenticity and make sure that everything is like legit. You can actually write them and saying, "Hey, listen, I got this Tom Brady signed jersey per se. Can you have one of your guys verify it?" They send a team, like one of the representatives, to your house. They look at it, they write something up, and then you'll have that certificate. So just in case you want to sell it, you have it. You can't do that with Pokemon cards or any other kind of trading card that's not real, because you could probably fake one, but if unless it has a seal or it's coming from the Pokemon company, I mean, it's just not going to happen. And I think that's the major difference of why sports cards value will never be touched.
Actually, I'm curious because I think thought about this, but they do have cards that have signatures on it, but they're kind of kind of replica signatures. How can you
Mhm.
tell like? And then they have some of the cards that are real ones. How can you kind of? I don't know if you can really tell this, but how can you?
So the signatures like on a sports card is usually on like a sticker, and it's dated and stamped. The ones like the replicas, they don't have the date or the stamp. It's just a signature.
Oh, just curious. I thought it would be more complicated.
No, no, they made it simple, but it's like a specialty stamp. It's you can't replicate it.
Okay, so it's kind of like $100, like a money for sake, where you can't really copy it.
Right.
Well, unless you want to get in criminal business, but let's not get into that. So is there similarities between real life card collecting and virtual card collecting? And what I mean by virtual card collecting, not where it can make some money, but just say for video game purposes. Madden Ultimate Team, where you can kind of spend, there's like auction. Actually, I'll explain more of it. NBA My Team or supply drops in other games. So I'll explain each one of them for any individuals or who don't know. Madden Ultimate Team, you buy, it's kind of like card system. You create your own team. They have cards. They have values like a 98 rating. Lamar Jackson, and you can if you collect it from packs that you earn through the game. You can sell it to the auction house, make some big profits off it. Um, NBA My Team, it's kind of similar to Man Ultimate Team, kind of similar things. Same thing. I don't know if you can sell it in My Team, but we're just gonna kind of say it is. And supply drops, that's where it's kind of you play the game. Well, you can't really sell whatever you get from a supply drop, but there's some that you could possibly do. You know, you play the game, you get a random supply drop, you get random stuff out of it. So is there kind of similarities between both of them?
Yeah, even Pokemon has like the online game. Actually, in every real pack, there's one of these. This actually gives you like an online code where you can redeem whatever was in that pack online. So it
Okay.
knows what's in the pack, and you scan the code, you open the pack, and you can play the game online with whatever was in that pack, or and collect it. And there's collectible cars in there. I don't know if you can. I personally do not know if you can actually sell the cars. Like you could trade what you have. I don't think so. But yeah, I think there's definitely value to have collecting online, but I don't think it's as
Well, it's
valuable.
yeah, because you don't get real money from it.
Right.
Though, people do. People do have this. Actually, some people might buy coins, for example, just to kind of get some of these cards. Just say it sells for like a Lamar Jack, 98 Lamar Jackson and Man Ultimate Team sells for 1 million auction house. That's kind of it's you look at it's probably the lowest buy, before it's the highest bidder, but that's the lowest you can kind of start by. Some
Yep.
people might actually buy virtual currency, which you have to spend real money for, $5 to kind of get those coins, and then you might have a chance to land a card. So
Yep.
it's up to, I think the similarities except kind of real life one. It's just it's not, you don't, it's luck. Actually, sorry, it's not luck, but you know, it doesn't seem fake.
Right. Agree.
So the next question: could we see something similar to the sneaker business where people are reselling for higher than usual costs?
Yeah, I mean it's happening now. I mean that's similar to what breaking is. I feel like there's some people that misunderstand what breaking is. I think you have to think of it as like a show. Like if you're a breaker is, for example, my prices are higher than retail, but there's a reason why you're paying for not only the cars being broken, it's entertainment thing. I'm taking the time out. I want to open it. I'm going to ship it. I'm going to, react to it. I think that in that aspect, it should be done. And then there's the people that, you know, take advantage of people and put the cost so high, but because of the supply and demand aspect of it right now, the supply is a lot lower than the demand. So people that have the product are able to sell it for higher costs, and people are buying it because it's not out there. With Target and Walmart, not selling cards right now, people are getting whatever they can, and they're just trying to triple and quadruple their money.
Yeah, it kind of does at just kind of see what you can do with the value. Kind of how do you kind of compare to your other like kind of other card breakers like with the prices? Like with the cards, are you kind of high? Are you in the high side? Are you in the low side? Are you just kind of at the perfect line?
I'm on the low side, and that's because I get my stuff from distributors, and I get it for wholesale prices, which allows me to lower the prices for people. I bring it as low as I can, so people feel comfortable buying with me, and it's worked out so far.
Actually, I kind of want to add one question to this because I recently went to I think a flea market a couple of days ago, and I found like a stack of baseball, like kind of they're a lot cheaper prices. I don't know how much, I forget how they sell for, but there's like 500 baseball cards and not labeled, and all. I don't know what they show prices all that, but I just found like a whole stack. I didn't buy any. They probably were like just say $1 to $10 each. They probably have more value, but they just you don't know what they got. Do you kind of go like do you kind of usually do it your way like with distributors, or you kind of try some unique approaches to gathering these cards to where you can sell?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a system. I have a pretty good system. Like I have distributors that send me the newer product. I have three guys that are I call my hunters. They go out and look for stuff for us to bring into the shop for breaking. But since I opened my new shop, most of my stuff just comes strictly from distributors. I don't the amount of product we're getting in, it lasts us for a while, and then I don't need to go to take other cards away from people at retail.
Oh, I'm just curious on that one. Because I just kind of went to, it's kind of why I thought about the topic, because like I thought about before I went to the flea market, but it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Maybe these the flea market, no one really kind of looks at sports cards. I don't know. It's just sat there, that could sat there for like maybe I don't know how long that flea market's been open, probably 10 to 30, maybe 10 to 30 years. Maybe there's something valuable in there and you don't even know. People might not even know because they don't check it. People don't buy crap. People don't buy stuff from flea market, even I don't know, playing cards, because there's so many that you have to look for and you don't have time for it. I was just curious on that one.
Yeah, I think another place that you can look for cards would be Facebook Marketplace, which is similar to a flea market. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always people selling their collections for a lot less than what they're worth, and I think people get deals that way. They look for it, people selling their collections. Maybe they need money for something, and it's lower than what it's worth, and people jump on that. You know,
Interesting. Yeah. I think I've seen a couple of them too. I was kind of looking, scrolling for that in the area.
yep.
So the last question I got for you is, for someone like you, would you rather hold a very rare Pokemon card or a signed Tom Brady jersey?
Uh, I don't like the guy really, but I will go with the signed Tom Brady jersey.
Okay, signed Peyton Manning, signed Aaron Rodgers.
Uh, you're a Colts fan.
No, I'm not. I'm just throwing some names around.
Yeah, I signed Tom Brady jersey though because of the worth. I would take that. I know I would know that jersey and worth is only going to go up. And it's more realistic that the market's going to hold for that item. Um, a Pokemon card, what if it fades out eventually, or then it's worth nothing, which I think eventually it will do. At some point, Pokemon are going to fade out. I don't know when it's going to be, 30 years from now, 20 years from now. And then what? And
Well,
then you have all these cards that you're collecting and they lose all their value. If you
I
have a
don't think. I
$300,000 card and it sells for $50, I'm sure you're pissed.
I don't think I don't know. I don't think Pokemon's gonna fade out because it's one of the most popular animes. It's I don't know if they post ups. It's just they created apps off it. They created amusement park rides off it. You know, I don't think it's ever going to decrease value. So I think it's kind of Tom Brady. You just said, yeah, I feel like a Tom Brady one is going to be more valuable. I'd rather have that because I don't know anything about Pokemon. But some people might prefer Pokemon because it's something they like. But I think at the end of the day, I think I'd rather have the one that probably has more value at the moment. And everybody knows Tom Brady. If you're born, it's going to grow over time because people are going to remember Tom Brady. Some people back in kind of if you were in 1980s, Bo Jackson, Dan Marino, all these Joe Montana, all these Hall of Famers in the past. A lot of the old generation grew up on that, and they still know them. They don't ever forget about them. But it never translates to the younger population. But you kind of look at today, being born in 1990s, 2000s, you got a lot more players, a lot more high players that everybody knows today. Also in the 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, Brady, Manning, Rogers, Aaron. Now you go to new gen today, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. They'll probably last till I don't know if it's going to be 2030, 2040. Younger population can dig to it. You got more generations that can dig to the kind of what we have right now in the NFL and all the other sports. Just say I was born in 2001, so I'm 20. It's harder for me to grasp onto the 1980s, 1990s, where 1970 NFL players were okay. I don't know any of these players. I know they got a lot of money worth, but I can't personally relate to them because I haven't seen them play. And it's NFL wasn't as popular as it's now today. So that's kind of where I go with it. It just kind of it's Tom Brady. It spans a more generation gaps to everybody, even if you're gonna be probably 70 or like 60, 70, whenever it comes in, or as young as 40. 2000. That's where I gotta go with it.
I agree. I would go to sports or any kind of real signed whatever it is memorabilia.
Yeah, that's why I gotta go with it. I had one actually. I kind of wanted so for the closing topic, I kind of want to talk a couple since we both know a lot about sports and Pokemon and all that. I kind of want to go on the sports side. I kind of did this in my last podcast. Kind of talk about the NFL. Let's talk about a couple points, a couple opinions and all that. Let's talk Aaron Rodgers. Do you think he's going to move on from the Green Bay Packers? Do you think he's going to start Week 1 against for the Packers, or you?
I think I don't think he's gonna play for the Packers again. He'll hold
Hmm,
out.
that's going to be fascinating.
Yep, they're gonna trade him. Listen, they picked up Blake Bortles. I know very well. They picked up Blake Bortles. They have Jordan Love. They signed first round draft pick. They have options. They probably try Love out, see what they got in him. But I think Rodgers holds out. I don't think he'll play. They're gonna trade him, and post June 1st, they don't owe him nearly as much money, so they'll probably do it after June 1st. They trade him now, they get hit with a 7 million more cap hit.
Yeah, that's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Talk about the same thing, Julio Jones. Do you think he's staying with? Because this has been kind of recent. In regards to kind of NFL players kind of wanting to be. This one's not forced. He doesn't want to be out. He doesn't. He's not publicly saying he wants to be out, but Julio Jones, Falcons might have a different opinion
Yeah.
on it. So, do you think Julio Jones gets traded, and what team do you kind of believe?
Uh Unfortunately, I think he's gonna go either to the Titans, who need a really good receiver, and they have room, or Patriots. I mean, they still need receivers. Supposedly, he has a Cam Newton thing that he wants to play with Cam.
Yeah,
So I don't know if he'll get that wish or not, but I think Titans would be a good option. The Colts, also a decent option. I don't know what they got outside of Michael Pittman. Um, Basically, T.Y. Hilton, but he's getting old.
I
But
think
Julio
you.
Jones is on a whole nother level than T.Y. Hilton. I mean, he's
Yeah,
just a monster. Um, and he's expendable in the Falcons right now. I mean, they got Calvin Ridley when he's healthy is I think almost as good, if not better. He runs really good routes and he's fast. Um, and Julio though, I would still give out a first round pick and a third for him. And maybe 2 seconds if he can, not together, but two different trades, either 2 seconds or a first and a third, and kind of go from there.
I think if I was the Falcons, yeah, I don't know if they really want to. I feel like they keep on him, but I think it's kind of at a rebuilding phase. You got Kyle Pitts, you just add again, yeah, it makes sense. You just you can rely on Calvin Ridley if he's healthy. I don't know who the third wide receiver is, but if I was the Julio Jones, I don't think they'll be happy with this. But if you train to any of these teams, I think you just train for another wide receiver. I think and then you can add those draft picks. Maybe instead, maybe I don't know. The problem is he's injured a lot. I don't know if it's worth the first. I know he's really talented. He's one of the best wide receivers in the game, but if he's constantly always injured, and I don't know if he's getting older. I don't know. I forgot his age, 31, 32. I might be wrong. Uh, Viewers don't criticize me, but I don't know. It's not a first round pick unless you don't get wide receiver out of it. If you can get wide receiver out of it, like with the trade back, which might seem odd for the Falcons, but again, you more if you can find someone who has potential but isn't ready. I think you can develop that. That's gonna be a good value pick.
I
And
agree.
then
I think a good pick for them would be go with the Patriots. Send Julio to the Patriots for a first rounder and Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers has potential. He's pretty good. He's undrafted and he's not going to cost you a lot, but he's doable. And I think that'd be a good trade.
yeah, that works out too. Yeah, that's a good one. There. Last. Actually, I don't think I have any more NFL things. Last NFL thing. What do you think about the 17 game schedule?
I think it's gonna hurt the system because now these players have to be healthy for 17 games plus the playoffs, and it's gonna drop their salary. That's one more game added to their salary, so they're making less per game.
Yeah, that's a good point. Same thing. I just the injury factor. I mentioned this in the last podcast. And where I just said, okay, the 17 schedule could work. It can help playoff teams, but it can also hurt teams that are like, would have clinched it in that 16th game, week 17. Now you got extra week, possible injury could happen, that could have been, you know, that could happen. I had an example where, Blake Bortles on the, just say, number one, like a number three seed, trying to secure a second seed for the AFC, you know, and he just runs for a play, gets sacked, he tears his ACL. And now he's gone. And now he's not there for the playoffs, and then that turns into disaster.
Yep.
So it's always a injury for a risk and reward, and I don't think it's rewarding for that. But again, people want more NFL. I feel like this. I feel like it won't stay for that long. I don't know why. I just feel like the 16 is it's already set up perfectly. The 17 game just kind of seems out of ordinary, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna be the first season doing it. You got a new playoff change that happened last year with the 17 playoff now, where the first place team has a bye, which I don't know why people criticize. Well, again, you got more playoff teams, but again, maybe more restrictiveness will probably help. But again, I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
You're right. Yep.
Well, that's going to be the end of the podcast, the Game Takes podcast, talking about the $1 billion card market, playing card market, collector card market. Do you want to give any shout outs to anyone before we end it off?
Well, if you're looking for a trading card break, you can check it out on Twitch at Raiden TCG. You could also check out my website, raidenstcg.com. And I also sell like sealed products. You could buy slabs from PSA or Beckett. And I appreciate you having me on today.
Yeah, that's great to kind of talk about this because I've been interested in talking about this topic. I just came up with about a week or two ago, but I've been kind of interested to kind of learn about it because it has value. Something unique to kind of learn more about, and it's good I learned more about the PSA ratings and kind of the e-commerce business of playing collector cards. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys make sure you guys subscribe to Vipers XBL on YouTube. Watch the podcast. There's a link. There's a playlist of all the episodes. If you guys go to Vipers XBL, look at the playlist section. There'll be all my YouTube videos with all 40. Now it's gonna be 49 episodes of the Gamer Takes, and yeah, we'll hopefully get another episode next week. And yeah, bye.